I want a sandwich. Now. Oh, sandwich wench. Yo, wench. Sandwich. Now. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. Oh, sandwich wench. I want a sandwich. Sandwich.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another political recap stream here on the Moisky Live channel. Joining me to talk about some things, we were like 10 seconds into talking about it before realising we're going live, is Trups. Say hi, Trups.
I don't have a drink today, so hello, Trups.
I can pop a cork if you like.
That's all right.
All right, how are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. I've been trying to figure out what I'm playing at a competition tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I've been like racking my brain through a bunch of different stuff and looking at different deck lists and options and God. Very nerdy things.
Do you have a preference in deck?
I like playing not the equivalent would be like a control deck.
Do you
I prefer those. Well, it's not Magic, right? So it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sorry, I misheard you.
But I mean, technically, that would be a blue deck, wouldn't it? I think
it would. Yeah, I have some Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I've never collected it. I just have some random ones over the years that have found their way to me, as we've mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
I have no real issue with the game because I like it on the Game Boy Advance. Destined to Duel, my favourite card game. Very first card game I ever played in video game form, in fact.
Well, I'm glad that it was. I'm glad that it was my game.
Summon Skull. Is it Summon Skull? Skull Sorcerer? Summon
Skull.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite cards.
I like that card, actually. It's a good card.
It was very good when you're earlier on in the game. If you have that, it's pretty good. Like,
Beat-stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very handy.
Yep. Back then, it was crucial.
Mm-hmm. Games
but yes, things are a little different nowadays.
I can't keep up with the change in games.
Oh, I wouldn't ask you to.
People get triggered to shit over like changes to D&D rules. Magic the Gathering do it as well with their cards and their rules and their stupid formats, man. I do my head in.
Oh yes.
Card quality is my main issue with them, though. If I'm going to be honest, blue decks are evil. Red black is best. Go figure. You say black, the chaos. I agree with you though. Black is best. Not the red part. Black. Just black. Straight up black. Me and my friend Dave have very differing preferences. He will go exalted in Magic, so he'll attack with one creature, but he'll have like 10 creatures, so it'll become an 11/11 or something. But he'll make sure that creature he attacks with can't be blocked because he's a dickhead. Whereas I will play black because I'll swarm you with every fucking zombie I can get my hands on.
Isn't there another one with like I think it's like a worm type of creature where it just spams out and then it takes the the attributes of other creatures? Yeah,
there is. Yeah. That sounds very green though, to be honest. Green or colourless, bloody colourless, a pain in the ass. Anyway.
Sorry. Nerding over.
Nothing wrong with the nerding. We're going to start with Fannie Willis.
Okay.
She could be disqualified following a number of allegations involving affairs and money.
Yeah.
There is a video, in fact, on Twitter. Now, I'm going to play it, but the chances are people aren't going to hear this on Rumble or Spotify. Thank you for those who left comments on Rumble and Spotify to tell me this. I really appreciate it. I didn't know I can get comments on Spotify until someone told me they couldn't hear what you see here on YouTube.
Specifically looking
so I'm pressing play now. I'll turn it right up so Trups is going to be obnoxiously loud when he
resulted
speaks.
in a financial benefit to the district attorney, and that is no longer a matter of complete speculation. The state has admitted a relationship existed, and so what remains to be proven is the existence and extent of any financial benefit. Again, if there even was one. So.
Right, now I'm going to stop it there because that seems like a relevant point of what the entire point of these hearings is. I'll bring us back here because there is an update to that. Do I have it? Oh, yeah.
Have you lowered me?
I have not, no. Now I have.
Okay.
Now, do you know who is it Fanny or Fanny? How do you pronounce it?
Fanny Willis.
Fanny Willis.
Why not?
Okay, cool. Fanny Willis. She has actually responded to this. And on when she's and people have been mocking something else instead. They've been hyper focusing on her dress. I'm gonna be the person that has to say it. The dress has zips on the front and back. And so while this dress does look like she's wearing it backwards because the zip at the front, there's actually one on the back as well because
that's a common thing, I thought.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter were focusing on that zip, but let's see what she has to say.
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head? So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis?
So I'll drag your volume back down. You can speak again, buddy.
Okay.
She is claiming that all the accusations against her are a lie. What do you know about the accusations against her concerning using money she shouldn't have been using and accepting money she should not have been accepting?
It looks pretty bad for her, to be honest with you. It does not look like any of the things that she has been trying to basically pass off as totally above board.
Well, she put money in her own pocket. She had sex with her employees. She's brought the office of DA into disrepute and proven it's absolutely corrupt. One of the guys didn't one of the guys she was banging in the take to stand as well, and he said this was happening. She put money into her pocket while paying him at the same time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it's pretty shit when your boyfriend in the situation is also kind of selling you out.
Yeah,
but alas.
So
that
who is she in the context of Trump?
Well, she is the person who is in charge of the RICO case. The RICO case is essentially, it's a conspiracy case that's being held in Georgia. Basically, the conspiracy to steal the election.
That.
And it's them plus like 16 other people. And I think collectively, they had some insane amounts of charges all together. But basically, they were all lumped together under one big umbrella, which was essentially RICO conspiracy.
Do you think this case against Fanny will cause the case against Trump to be thrown out?
So it very well has that possibility. Unfortunately for Fanny,
Fanny,
she did kind of shoot herself in the foot with this. Now I want to point out, I'm pretty sure there was an instance with the Georgia electors, the alternate slate of electors. A while back, they had another case where they were going to seek injunctions against those other electors as well. And Fannie Willis was removed from that case against the Georgia electors because she had donated to one of the people, one of the representatives' political opponents in the last election.
Right.
Which is technically a conflict of interest because you clearly have a bias against the other person.
Well, it is a conflict of interest. Straight up it is.
Right. Yeah. So we have a... she was already kind of playing a dangerous game back then, because if we just go by party lines, now of course parties are different in each state, right? We've talked about it in California. Republicans aren't the same as Kansas Republicans, etc.
Agreed, yeah.
But you already had an instance of a very fine line walking with their tendency to be against Trump innately or politically.
Yeah, so noticed that.
Thus making all of the situation look like a political debacle, which, in my humble opinion, it is.
I agree.
So that's the oopsie daisy that she may have put herself in.
If the DA office had any sense, they would remove her instantly, knowing that there's no optics where this will ever look good afterwards.
True.
But apparently they don't possess an IQ higher than 1.
Well, you see, they don't want to. they don't want him to be free.
I mean, I understand that, but using her doesn't change how shit this looks for them.
Correct. I've noticed as of late that our elected officials have been more and more candid with their general distaste or disliking of the political opposite.
Yeah.
There was actually an instance where Marjorie Taylor Greene was presiding over the House for something.
Oh, we're going to talk about her later, don't worry.
Oh, yeah, but this was just a random moment where she said, everyone, please remember to use House decorum rules. Respect the decorum, right? And if I tell you that whole room erupted in hooting and hollering and a ruckus, oh my God. Such absolute disrespect, but it was pretty fun.
But that's the kind of shitlordery I'm okay with, though. Because it's like you the substitute teacher have just tried to take control. No.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, I get it. But those are the same people who are, harping on, unity and blah, blah, blah. Like, remember, the unity party was Joe Biden, right? He campaigned on that. We are going to unite the parties.
He did say that. And then the first thing he did in office, he vetoed so many things. He used his presidential executive order to get rid of everything that was done. And then he immediately shat on the Republicans and told them to get on board.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned out when he did his Build Back Better plan, his Build Back Broke Back Mountain Better plan, it turns out it wasn't even the Republicans he had to worry about. It was the 2 senators, a Democrat, who said, "No, fuck you, man. We're not going with this."
Yeah. True.
Right. Fam. It was your own party that didn't agree with you. And they don't really agree with you now. Although, not that he'd noticed, he's still asleep.
Oh, well, I mean, poor guy is still...
I saw a Super Bowl video. It was hilarious. For those who don't know, during the Super Bowl over the weekend, rather amusingly, Biden gave a statement. And during it, I mean, I thought it was quite funny, really, because his press secretary played defense for him afterwards. He spoke about the price of ice cream and how it's.
Oh my God! I saw.
He was talking about the inflation, the shrinkflation. That was it. And he was talking about a bag of chips, you're getting fewer in it, and costing just as much, or it's costing more. It's shrinkflation. And my first thought was, hang on, you're putting an ad in during the Super Bowl, but you're using it to talk about your own failed economy. Like, what are you bragging about, bitch tits? And I've got I will put if people want to see that, I can put the video on the screen. I have it. He looks exhausted, by the way. I don't know how they managed to sellotape his eyes to look like that, but I'll put it on the screen for those who are curious. Oh, actually, you know what? My pause game on this is pretty good. People might get... If you get nightmares, I do not apologize. Oh, the happiness. Look at him. He's so happy. I haven't pressed play. You're all good, by the way. You saw this, though, Trubs, yeah?
The video, yeah, I did.
Oh, let's hope this time we don't get copyright claim halfway through the stream.
Oh, dear.
Let's turn this up, and...
The Super Bowl Sunday. If you're anything like me, you like to be surrounded by a snack or two.
I can't imagine Biden ate any of those snacks except for the ice cream. And that was a running meme for years about his... Oh, wow, he does look old. Meme about how much he loves his ice cream.
While watching the big game. You know...
I didn't watch the big game. Did you watch it, by the way, Trups?
I did, actually.
Who were you supporting, the 49ers or the Chiefs?
I was actually just watching. I didn't care for either of the teams, so I was just in it for the game.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a San Fran fan or cheeky Chiefs fan. Couldn't care less.
It was very funny. We had Papa Roach on the side of the 49ers, and we had Taylor Swift on the side of the Chiefs.
I'll be honest, I would have supported Papa Roach. Not because I don't like Taylor Swift, but because I actually do like Papa Roach.
I love Papa Roach, actually. But like that was the one part of the game that I was like, oh cool, this is the sides I'm choosing. I'm choosing
I got kind of pranked by my server a little bit because they told me that Papa Roach did a collaboration with The Who, and I I was like, oh, that's cool, Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend. No, the Mongolian warbling band, The Who, HU.
Oh, The Who.
Yeah, and I was like, you pricks.
I mean they're good too. I like them too.
Oh, it was a banging collab. But I was looking, I was trying to find the wrong thing for like half an hour.
Was that the one they did with Serge Tankian too?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Like Black something?
I don't remember, but Serge Tankian's awesome too. But yeah, I was looking for half an hour, and then Joe goes, "Yeah, by the way, it's the HU who, like, you motherfuckers didn't." All right, fair enough. Carrying on, let's play a bit more.
When buying snacks for the game, you might have noticed one thing: sports drinks bottles are smaller. A bag of chips has fewer chips, but they're still charging it just as much. And as an ice cream lover, what makes me the most angry is that ice cream cartons have actually shrunk in size.
Just the thing. This guy's says, oh wow, I've got the best pause game. I'm going to leave that there now. He's talking about how ice cream cartons have shrunk in size. It makes him angry. Bitch, you're the president of the United States. You're a millionaire. I doubt you've ever once noticed the carton size shrinking because you have your food delivered. All right? Like, fam, you are not in touch with reality. You've been a senator for most of your career, most of your life.
At this point, most of his life, yeah.
Yeah. You cannot tell me you know what... just saying, right, those false teeth, man. Just the psychotic, dislocated look of his jaw is perfect.
Well, I think in that freeze frame, you actually see quite the dislocated jaw.
Yes. It's the one thing I noticed. Someone's pulling a string there. It's just that, to me, you cannot talk about how bad your economy is and use your own frustrations that are clearly not true to drive home a point about shrinkflation when you've done nothing to resolve the issue anyway.
I mean, he is right. Shrinkflation is a thing.
It is. It happens here as well. I'm not denying that.
But it's been happening for the last, 12 years.
You and I were talking about the economy change under Biden for you, and you this isn't working.
Yeah. I think I remember when we first talked about it, I think I actually explicitly mentioned shrinkflation.
I think you also said, can we please have Trump back?
Yes. I still think that.
Well, we might get
fun story. So do others.
If anyone wants a screenshot of this picture to meme it, I do. So I'm going to just come over here and take a screenshot for later for the spank bank. Right, I'll take that off the screen. I'll come back here actually because his press secretary, KGP, she said, and I'll quote her: President Biden. That's not the quote though. President Biden does more in 1 hour than most people do in a day. One sentence later, he has nothing on his schedule tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Bitch, what did you just say? I've got a part of that here. I'll play that for you guys.
I don't have anything yet.
It's coming out of one fucking ear. it's all coming out the left.
For tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. I don't have anything yet for tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. Obviously, when things move or we have something to share, we'll certainly put that out there on the daily guidance. And obviously, there's some movement happening in Congress as well that we're keeping a close eye on.
Blah,
So
blah, 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 blah. Shut up. I just played the audio and didn't change scene, didn't I?
I don't know. Did you?
Yeah, I didn't change scene. Sorry, chat. You didn't see the video, and I don't really want to play it again. It was all coming out of my left ear, and it really annoys me. How about... So, what do you think about... okay, so we don't need... Actually, no. We don't need to talk about shrinkflation, do we? Because we've already discussed it.
We've been through it. It sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's happened here. I fully understand that it's a real legitimate problem. I also... A recent thing my sisters have discovered is... I've got two nieces that are lactose intolerant. Last Sunday, they were doing a movie day. My nieces love toffee-flavoured popcorn. It changed the recipe because of shrinkflation to put milk in it with the toffee. So they don't use as much toffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
that's
problematic.
Yeah, but it's cheaper to do it that way so you can get... than it is to do it with the original recipe. Apparently that's a shrinkflation thing to change the recipe.
Oh, joy.
Saving money weekend. But it means my nieces can't have certain brands of toffee popcorn. There aren't many of them around. Although I'd be honest with you, everyone, if you eat popcorn in the chat, what is the best flavour? And of course, the only correct answer is the one that I believe it to be. If you're wrong, I will tell you.
I just have regular popcorn.
Yeah, but what is it? Is it butter, salted, sweet and salty? Is it?
I mean, it would be a light. It would be a lightly buttered, would it not?
You are correct.
Okay.
Because lightly buttered has a bit of salt in anyway.
Yeah, right. Because you the adding salt on top of that is gross.
Around, yes, absolutely.
It's gross.
My friend Dave likes sweet and salty. I normally only get the salty because I can't get the butter. So I have no choice, but butter is the correct one. I don't mind. I don't like sweet and salt together. I think it's a bit of a blast. I don't like contradicting flavors.
I also don't like. This is actually haram to most people. I don't like kettle corn.
What is that?
It's usually a sweeter popcorn, and it's usually sold at fairs.
Right now, I'm having to be very careful because I shattered a molar. And I have to wait 12 days to have it removed now after going to the dentist today to confirm it has to come out. So he has a repair filling on the other side, although I did get praise from the dentist because for the second time I have used temporary filling myself and done it myself in the mirror and done it so well he had to drill it out because it was set in really well. But because it was digging into my gum, he had to remove it. But it was well enough that it stopped it getting infected.
Huh.
But I shattered it on something that was meant to be soft called nougat. It was a bar called Skinny, and normally I buy a dark chocolate and mint one that's really soft. They didn't have them. So I got the Bakewell one. I got this Bakewell one, got home, 70 calories, it's a little snack on the go. I bit into it and didn't notice because the tooth at the back next to my molar is dead. It's just been there. It doesn't need to come. It didn't need to come out because it was not a problem, you know.
Right. It wasn't doing anything.
And then I felt a lump when I bit in the center and realized the front of my molar had come off, and I was like, I can't even glue that back on. That really annoys me. But I have to get that all removed. And funny thing is, only a month or two ago, I had just had a temporary filling put in there again. For fuck's sake, I've spent so much money. This tooth, you can go. You've done you're pissing me off now. Anyway, I mean, maybe I should push for teeth like Biden, I guess.
Maybe.
Okay, so I saw this isn't necessarily, this is kind of political, but not. It's tied into political people. I want to talk about Hassan briefly, if you're okay with that.
Oh yes.
So I see him around a lot. He says a lot of shit. He contradicts. I'm going to go with his commentary concerning Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. I mentioned it in this week at Twitter today, where he took the liberty of, they basically did a video together talking about sex and boredom. Yeah. And he replies by, shitting on them for giving advice for men who might be suffering from sexual boredom in some manner. And
Sure.
he got flayed. I even said it because it's like they're married, they have kids, and they're wealthy. You are a billionaire, like stupid. You come from a billionaire, like fund. What are those fund things? Family, right?
Nepo baby.
His family are stupid wealthy. He himself talks about taxing the rich. He is childless. He's not married, and he spends most of his time being a jackass, contrarian hipster on stream. And there's a funnier thing where he's now taking shots at people like Destiny, because Destiny has traveled across America to do debates with Ben Shapiro and with Jordan Peterson. Now, what are your views on people who are willing to travel to go and debate those they disagree with?
Well, it shows a level of commitment, and it shows that you at least take the person seriously enough to A, give them your time, and B, that you at least there's at least a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Produced.
So I'm gonna play a clip from Hassan, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Because he has a slightly different. I had the volume and you turned up really loud the whole time. Oh jeez, I'm sorry guys. Because he has some words he'd like to share with the class.
Cut thousands of videos at this point about like simply debate, simply drama. Okay, so that's the problem. Okay, this is what you do. This is what you.
Hassan has massive shoulders. I can't believe it. A tiny head and massive shoulders. Just a quick thing. Hassan's format is very simplistic. It doesn't matter what you do, whether it be good or bad, he will crap on you for doing it because how dare you do something.
You do when you don't have anything else going on and all you're doing is just fucking.
Yep. Sorry, I was listening to the clip as it passed by.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
It pays the bills. I'm paying his bills.
His format is basically just shitting on you, though.
He's a reaction channel. That's all he is.
Yeah.
don't
His
care for it.
contrarianness is what's the word? Formulaic. Like it's very, very obvious when he does it.
He likes to champion himself as a bit of a political commentator. So people who might be listening to this might now think, or might have been thinking before, how is this political? Jordan Peterson is involved in politics quite a bit. Ben Shapiro is heavily involved in politics. Destiny has always been involved. Destiny is one of the very few people I will admit baffles me because he will debate literally anyone. He'll debate people on his own side. He'll debate people he disagrees with. He'll debate people he agrees with.
Yeah, he just likes to argue.
He does. And he's always been like that. Destiny's been like that for years. Hassan has done debates. Hassan has, but he loses them. He did one with another commentary YouTuber called Willie Mack recently. He got bitch slapped by Willie Mack. Is not a debater.
No, he's a content farmer.
He's a shit. He's a shit talker.
Drama.
A bullshit talker. He does good documentary videos. I'll give him that. But he knows how to. When he goes into a conversation, he has the natural wit to be able to hold Hassan easily. Hassan just wants to be the big, loud person. He is smart. Hassan, you can't deny Hassan is intelligent, but Hassan is also he's lazy, and he's gotten lazier over the years because he's unwilling to commit to being better and more than just some guy sat in a room that he has dubbed his office while shitting on everyone. I'm going to play a bit more of this for a second because there is a reference to Shapiro and Peterson that needs to be addressed.
I'm paying his child support, okay? So he should be thanking me every fucking day of the goddamn week. Come on now.
Where's the...
Versus the way he talked to Ben Shapiro.
So, come on, hurry up. Get to the point.
Think about the way
God, the tism.
he has talked in just the last month of videos that I just showed you versus the way this man who is supposed to be a liberal, who's supposed to be a leftist, and the way he puckered for Ben.
Right. The way he puckered for Ben because he's a leftist and a liberal. Now, I had retweeted this by pointing out that you shouldn't go into, as a leftist, arguments or discussions with anyone who is on the right or considered to be on the right, or a centrist who's obviously touted then as a right-leaning fascist, you shouldn't go into it with the mindset because you're on the left, you must be more aggressive to those on the right. Sometimes you do need to show a level of empathy and understanding. And also, there's always a chance that even if you disagree with them on some political issues, that you are going to have a natural rapport that will just create a rather friendly exchange, right? Even in debate settings, that can happen.
Sure. It usually involves mutual respect, though.
It does, and I think that might be where Destiny discussing things with Shapiro or Peterson may have been a bit friendlier because there was some respect there. And I can't say that. I'll be honest, considering the willingness of Peterson and Shapiro to just discuss things with people up front and not back down, I have nothing but respect for them in that context, because I don't do it. I mean, it takes some real strength to be able to do it. I don't even get into arguments on Twitter. That's your area. People try it with me on Twitter, and my old-fashioned way was just to get sexual with them. Because that's what I used to do in the day. Remember? I used to get really sexual with them, and I'd wait for the block because it always happened. The only other time I had.
Vaguely, I remember that.
Well, it was a long time ago. I used to have someone that would. I got blocked by somebody when they were defending some violent, vicious shrew, and so I used the very same language that person would use on those that they hate, that they themselves support, and they blocked me for it. And I was like, "You do realize I've just done the very thing the person you support does, but because I've done it, you don't like it." It's like, bitch, medicine, go take some.
Look, you can't. You would be hard pressed to find any person who has a shred of consistency nowadays.
I agree. Now, with Hassan there, I would love to see him debate peace, and I'd love to see him sit with Shapiro. But Hassan is so vehemently like, you are the enemy. I can't imagine he would manage more than 5 seconds before he end up rage quitting the entire conversation.
He has a very different persona that he puts on. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever seen how he does his like TV appearances versus his
I've heard about this, but I haven't seen
his his stream. His stream is, I mean, the self that he presents to everyone most often. When he gets onto TV, like when he went to go see when he was on Piers Morgan. Yeah. He suddenly had a very different attitude facing things.
I think he doesn't realize just how different the dynamic, or either he does realize and thinks, shit, I might lose subs on Twitch for this. I might need to play. I
genuinely think that he thinks that.
He must. He's a bit of a bread tuber in his own way.
Oh, absolutely.
And Chaos on YouTube, you've mentioned not mentioning, or what might be not going to talk about Vosh here. No, we're not going to talk about Vosh or Lolly. No, I've done that on YouTube this week. I've said what I need to say. He likes horse cock and he wants to plow anime children.
I mean, he is a horse. That's what he said.
Yes, he does like it thick. Yeah, but yeah, no, we're not going to talk about Vosh here. And yeah, no, I can imagine many people change who they are when they're in different settings. I'd like to believe, for the most part, over the years, I've shown a level of consistency in social anxiety and INTJ-ness. Beyond that, I don't think I've been anything else. Vosh, Hassan has always been very contradictory in this, I think. So we'll move on from that, because he's a political commentator who is a bit of a loser. There was a memo doing its rounds. It was retweeted by Elon Musk, and it was a memo to every. A memo was sent to every Republican colleague in Congress, because buried in the bill text is an impeachment time bomb for the next Trump presidency if he tries to stop funding the war in Ukraine. And it was if you read the where was it? There was oh yeah, I've got the images right. Yeah. So supplemental impeachment time bomb. Okay, I'll put it on the screen for those who are interested. It's this bit here. The Ukraine supplemental includes a hidden impeachment clause against President Trump. So, wrongfully impeached by the partisan Pelosi-led House of Representatives, obviously. We talked about that multiple times. It was absolutely wrongfully impeached on the grounds that they had no definitive evidence at all. It was all asserted. That was the Mueller thing, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry. You suddenly dropped out there for a second.
Oh, my apologies. The 2019 impeachment, that was the Mueller report, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. At the core of the impeachment was a pause on funds appropriated to Ukraine, $391 million in security assistance, $250 million through the Department of Defense's Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, $141 through the State Department Foreign Military Finance Program. Can you just give me that money instead? Because I'll do much better with it than the ball wobbling actor they've got for a president over there. The false argument put forward by the Democrats is as follows: as President Trump had allegedly paused these funds because he wished to see the corrupt nexus between the Biden family and Ukraine investigated. Trump had used his power with the aim to interfere with the U.S. presidential election. Page 425 of the committee report on the first impeachment states, the president froze military assistance to Ukraine against U.S. national security interests and over the objections of career experts. The impeachment inquiry report states, the president did so despite the long-standing bipartisan support of Congress, uniform support across federal departments and agencies for the provision to Ukraine of the military assistance and his obligations under the Impoundment Control Act. The supplemental impeachment time bomb, President Trump has said in regard to the war in Ukraine, we've got to get that war settled and I'll get it settled. It's interesting you say that he says that because, unsurprisingly, Putin wants Biden to win the next election, which we will get to soon. He claims it's for experience. We all know that's not true. Included is more information about what the bill contains monetarily. By the way, $1.6 billion for foreign military financing, $13.7 billion for the Ukraine security assistance. Like, you guys are just throwing money at shit. If President Trump were to withdraw from or pause financial support for the war in Ukraine in order to bring the conflict to a peaceful conclusion over the objections of career experts, it would amount to the same fake violation of budget law from the first impeachment under markedly similar facts and circumstances. Conclusion, the supplemental represents an attempt by the foreign policy blob deep state to stop President Trump from pursuing his desired policy, and if he does so anyways, to provide grounds to impeach him and undermine his administration, all Republicans should oppose this passage. What do you think, Trump? Trups?
Trump.
Yeah, Trump slap. Yeah. The idea of having something in place to yet again use it if Trump were to win as a reason to undermine his authority as president, even though, let's face it here, when Biden got in, he used his executive order to undermine everything before. If Trump did the same thing, apparently this would be bad. But then you're throwing money at something that could be resolved differently.
So one of the things that pisses me off to no end is the expectation that for some reason, we are world police.
We've discussed this before.
Yes. Well, it's still true. And it still pisses me off. At this point, I don't know if we'll ever get to be free of this issue. Genuinely,
I doubt it. My real gripe is you are the world police. 100%, you are that. My gripe is that apparently, even if a peaceful solution can be provided, apparently, and with no level of irony, the Democrats would rather continue the fighting side of this. As if their tactic is the correct one by throwing money at Ukraine to continue fighting. But if there's a peaceful way of resolving it, surely that would be preferable if it saves you money.
Well, not only that, but there is a level of like douchebaggery that the United States employs when they talk about this, because understanding what they're saying when they say, "Hey, by the way, we don't believe that if we're not involved, that the world can handle it."
Yeah.
Right? That is the most asinine thing that we ever just say, right?
Yeah.
We just accept that and we let it go. It is perfectly acceptable. Like UK, France, Canada, if we weren't involved in Ukraine, y'all fuckers would lose, right? If we don't get involved, then Ukraine is doomed. We are so good at what we do that anybody else gets involved, nah, fuck them, they're dead. I'm like, okay, calm down. Fucking tooting your own horn here. Fuck off. Jesus Christ.
So I don't.
That's how our foreign policy works, though.
It does, and the thing is, foreign policy is the president's domain, not so. Why the fuck is the House trying to overrule anything a president does? Because that's the point, isn't it? The House is supposed to do the domestic. He's supposed to do the foreign.
Yeah,
that's how I've always seen it, and that's always we looked. Basically, is. And so, as far as I'm concerned, this is a massive reach from the House to undermine the office of president. You shouldn't have that authority. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with another bloody wall with a gap in between, demilitarized zone like North and South Korea. But again, don't forget here, Trump actually managed to get that fat twat from the North to sit with him. You guys didn't. You undid it. You all undid it all in less than a term.
Oh, fucking Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. Like, he was making progress there and in Israel. Sure. And look what's happened since. Motherfuckers, if you're the world police, you have failed. Embarrassing.
Well, for a little bit we were okay.
Yeah, it's called a cool-off period. Usually you use it before you use AoE attacks again.
That's a cooldown. That's a cooldown.
There you go. You got it. Okay, so in 2024, I'll move on briefly because there was something I'm doing around. Elon Musk have retweeted this and it cracked me up a little bit. Excuse me. According to the US Customs and Border Protection, in 2017, 310,531 people illegally entered the US. In 2018, 404,142. 2019, 859,501. 2020, 405,036. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Would you like the numbers for 2021, 2022, 2023, and so far for 2024, 6 weeks in?
I guess.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that if I took one of them is higher than the last, all four of them put together. But I'll read them anyway. In fact, two of them are. So, 2021, 1,956,519. 2022, 2,766,582. 2023, 3.2 million. And so far this year, you are
we keep going up. I see a bad trend.
You're just shy of 1 million 6 weeks in. Now, I have heard of people pushing to give those who enter the country illegally the right to vote in your country. Would you like to state for the class what Trups' view on this is?
Fuck no.
There we go. I'm with you 100%. Why do you say that, though?
Because they have not... They are not of or for our country.
When I wanted to move to your country long ago, and I was 25, and I had a 5-year plan, I was going to be there when I was 30, one of the things I was looking forward to the most was pursuing the naturalized path. Because I knew you had to be in the country a certain number of years. I knew you had to... there was a process to follow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I was happy to do that because I wanted to build my own life over there. Obviously, life doesn't work out that way, but still, I knew the process. And I felt that is a vitally important part of becoming a part of that country. If all you do is go to a country and simply be given that right, then you would expect to be given everything else as well. There are sanctuary cities in America who are complaining that resources for things like the DMV are going down to make up for the fact that they are having to accommodate and give more to those who have entered the country illegally: shelter, money, food, clothes, everything. More than what those who would need access to the DMV could get. Other services are also expected to be cut back in some of these sanctuary cities. And it's like, how are you this stupid? Because you can't be bailed out forever, filling up your hotels and other people's homes and hostels for trains.
Other people's homes being the most interesting one of all of those.
Is that happening yet?
Yeah.
Then it's not acceptable.
Well, it's not enforced. You have the opportunity to offer to house people.
You are meant to be the land of the free. Okay.
Yes.
And land of the free does not mean give everything to everyone else for free. You still have to earn it. You're a capitalist nation, and that means you've got to build and to succeed. Simple as that. You cannot if you just let people in.
I know that, and you know that. Our politicians don't seem to care.
No, they don't. And I wish they'd stop trying to do virtue signaling, because eventually it will backfire on them magnificently. The wait time for a married couple to be able to live and work together, 18 months minimum legally. So, Chaos, that's why I take great issue with the system, because I know about your struggles trying to get your hobbit of a husband over so you can finally get porked, because I know you've been a virgin for a long time, and have a child at long last.
I was going to say, wait, what?
Yeah.
How's that work?
I don't know, but I assume on a footstool. And
okay.
Yeah. And one of those jousting rods. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I take great issue with this because I've seen the videos of these convoys of sorts of people just walking into a country. And that, again, I've said it so many times, that is such a bad way to interpret how your country is supposed to be protected. Like, you are enabling this, and it's only going to get worse. Don't forget here, excuse me, when a locust swarm arrives at its destination, it will harvest until there's nothing left. And then they'll move on to the next one. If you do not have these people integrated in your society from the offset anyway, they will do that to every place they go until there is nothing left for them. Then they will leave and go somewhere else. But there aren't many options, so how do you deal with the issue? Well, you build a fucking wall and stop them coming in so easily first. Although, my country's not got a leg to stand on. Open up all those vacant apartments in Billionaire Row, New York for the immigrants, right? Oh, I'm okay with that. New York can suffer, I don't care. They don't have a WWE shop anymore, so I don't care.
Huh.
Used to be a thing in the SmackDown.
I don't necessarily care for the opening up all the billionaire apartments because, nah, fuck you. I want that.
Yeah, let me have that. Let me have that instead. I remember years ago, the apartment used for Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 for the Osborn family. That apartment went up for sale on for like 1.5 million. It's a one-bedroom apartment, but it's right next to Central Park. I will admit, I did look at that and I was like, it has staircases. It looks cool. Can I have some
staircases?
Yeah, I mean, we've got stairs here, but you've got a flat and it's got stairs. I'm like, is that is that meant to be a mezzanine? What the fuck is that?
I completely understand. It's some bullshit.
It is, exactly. And it's a one bedroom. Like, come on. I want that. But,
True.
Sorry, I've had a dry cough for a little while. It keeps flaring up every so often. I do apologise. Okay. We'll be fine.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that.
Combination of things.
Yeah. So recently, in that bill promised $60 billion in military aid, and it passed the Senate on Tuesday. Now, Republican leaders are threatening to block it in the House of Representatives. Okay. David Cameron, Lord Cameron, has been commenting about robust intervention in domestic U.S. politics. Right.
I love those words. Those were certainly words that you used.
Yeah. he's urged Congress to support the package by saying that he was going to drop all diplomatic niceties. I'll quote him. I believe our joint history shows the folly of giving in to tyrants in Europe who believe in redrawing boundaries by force. I do not want us to show weakness displayed against Hitler. Show the weakness displayed against Hitler in the 30s. He came back for more, costing us far more lives to stop his aggression. Now, quick thing I want to point out before I continue his quote. The folly of giving in to tyrants in Europe who believe in redrawing boundaries by force. Do you not remember the consequences of the First World War then? Because, unless I'm mistaken, empires literally fell because of it.
I'm pretty sure it was actually the UK that decided to cut up the Ottoman Empire.
And so I'll be honest. Are you now Lord Cameron calling us tyrants? You twat. I'll finish his quote. It's quote twatty quote. Yes. I do not want us to show the weakness displayed against Putin in 2008 when he invaded Georgia, or the uncertainty of the response in 2014 when he took Crimea and much of Donbass, before coming back to cost us far more with his aggression in 2022. It's okay, he'll be dead in a few years. Now, during a visit to Poland, the Foreign Secretary has said he was not wanting in any way to lecture American friends or tell American friends what to do, but added, we must not let Putin think he can outweight us or last us out. Right. Because, as is well known, throwing more money at the problem has so far yielded such fantabulous results.
Well, even more so than that, are you meaning to tell me that Russia believes that in we'll call it a militarized situation, that they believe that they can wait out the other side? Huh. I wish there were like 3 or 4 different instances where this happened, where somebody would maybe say something, intelligent, because that's exactly what happened. Napoleon, Hitler, and a bunch of the other incursions from random people over the years. Russia is the best at holding out against other people.
Yeah, they got attrition on their side. It's kind of their tactic, along with throwing as many people at it as possible. Now, Lord Cameron here, Twat Features, he has had a detractor in the form of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has had some comments to what David Cameron said. Her comments are essentially 3 words. Kiss my ass.
I love it.
It's short, it's simple, it's to the point. I tend to agree. I don't like to. We do these politics streams, and yes, I do like to add an opinion, but I don't generally make it a point to tell Americans what is best for them. But I do tend to agree with you once you've said things like being the world police, because you are the world police. It's not an ideal thing, but I do tend to think that the bill is a bad idea.
Well, not only that, but we also,
for other reasons as well, though.
We don't need to do this for ourselves.
You got to think undermining the president by having this bill in place, or a potential future president, to me is sod off would be great, but that's an English thing, Chaos. Sod to them does not mean the same to us.
Sod is fake grass to us.
Sod is dummy, idiot, moron, Burke, that kind of thing. To us. Although fake also works. I think in this instance, there's nothing inherently wrong with not wanting to be, or not wanting to have a bill in place that hamstrings, ties the hands, binds the hands of a future president if Biden doesn't win, binds the president in place, forces them to do something they wouldn't want to do when an option could be explored to improve the situation. And Trump has proven he has the capability to actually yield positive outcomes in international peace talks. The
fact that they're already trying to hamstring him on the off chance
They're worried
that he wins. Oh, absolutely they are. But it's very interesting that they are so open to say that they are.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lack of if I were confident in my party, say, Joe Schmo is running against, John Doe over here. My guy, I have 100% faith in him. I wouldn't even write anything up in case, John Doe won, because Joe's gonna win. Bad use of Joe, but no, my guy is gonna win. I don't give a shit about the other dude.
Well, in this instance, then it affords us a chance to quickly to start talking about Putin, because we've got Navalny on the thumbnail. Putin there. Putin has said that he wants Biden to win the next US election. When he spoke to Russian state TV, so naturally it's totally unbiased, he believes that Biden is more experienced and predictable than Trump, because Biden is an old school politician. And he has dismissed any concerns that the 81-year-old president has lost any of his mental acuity, saying, when I met him 3 years ago, it's true, people were already talking about his inabilities, but I saw nothing of the sort. But he added, so he banged his head on the helicopter when he was getting out. Who of us hasn't banged their head on something? This is a really shitty way of Putin saying, I want Biden because he's an idiot.
Yes, correct. That is exactly what he is saying.
Legit. I'm not afraid of this guy. I'm afraid of the guy I can't be certain about. To be fair,
the guy who threatened to nuke Moscow. I am 10 times more afraid of that guy because I think he might actually do it.
I think he also said something about NATO as well recently.
I think he said I was going to nuke Moscow and I would find specifically your house too.
I think he did. And I'll be honest, I think considering how big his house is, it's got a nuclear bunker under it, he'd be fine. Okay, so
we have guns for those.
People do, don't they? Okay, ignoring these topics, where are we?
But the Navalny thing is very curious. Okay.
Yes. So Navalny was sent to a penal colony nicknamed Polar Wolf in the Yamalo-Nenets region, which is above the Arctic Circle. Temperatures average -20. It's not until around May that it stops freezing, by which time it's muddy and slush at best, and prisoners during the summer are forced to strip to their waists in swarms of mosquitoes. For 300 days, Navalny since 2022 existed in solitary confinement and was eventually allowed a one daily stroll in a nearby cell where the floor was covered in snow. He could only see outside his window where there was a tall fence and no light. In winter, it was only dusk at best.
I believe that.
He was sent to jail for a bullshit crime. He was sent there because he was a political rival of Putin's. And he's not the only one. There's others that have been hit. And it wasn't that long ago, Navalny had actually spoken and said he was doing fine. That he was okay in prison. He was going to be fine. But it was announced today, he's not okay. He's
not so good.
I thought Navalny was going to be the next leader of Russia. I really did.
I think a lot of people did.
In 2023, early 2023, he was assigned a new cellmate who had severe mental health problems. This would include growling, guttural screams, turning on and not off for periods of hours, yelling for 14 hours during the day and 3 at night. Can you tell me that they weren't trying to torture him without telling you they were trying to torture him without,
Oh, absolutely they were.
they were doing Prison Break with freaking, if anyone's seen Prison Break, with Haywire, Patoshak in the cell with Michael Schofield. Yeah, that. They were trying to break him down.
Oh, 100%.
So, what are your views on what has been announced so far? And what you know about this?
So I don't know too much, but what I do know is that Navalny was at least somebody who gave Putin a run for his money. I mean, Putin did try and had him poisoned. There was instances where, what was it? He was basically tortured ever since. And he tried to run for mayor once. The guy wasn't allowed to actually campaign or appear on TV. Like, it's very clear that what he is dealing with is essentially a government who just wants to unperson him.
I mean, Putin is ex-KGB.
Right.
He's basically guaranteed any of the protesting going on right now is completely undermined. Thank you, Leona. We appreciate that. We might soon-ish.
Yep.
Yeah. Like in an article I've got here, it does say that there's little hope now in protest. People will try and mark his death in their own way, but they will be punished for it. If shock following the Russian invasion of Ukraine failed to bring masses of people onto the streets, Navalny's death won't either. But privately, Russians are grieving. For them, this will just be another very dark day and loss of hope. Now, I feel sorry for Russia to an extent, because they've always been under the thumb of somebody. And it's why I've never really cared for a country of that size to be controlled in the way that Russia is controlled. Because it doesn't work. It does work in the sense of controlling, but it can't work like for freedom. Yeah. But that's a concept that doesn't exist there. Really. It never has. Honestly, it went from czars to communism to communism light. And then back to Putin, who's basically just
still communism. Yeah, it's communism light. They at least allege that there's a democracy, and there are people who do genuinely like him.
Yeah. They're diminishing, and then they just
rapidly.
Yes, well, that's because they're busy dying in Ukraine. Now, I'm intrigued by this all happening because Navalny, he was given a lengthy sentence, but he was considered the hope for the country's future, and he's not the first of the rivals here to be put away. There was one who was arrested not so long ago, a female, and I'm just like, this is very much a case of I've been laughing at the crap I've seen with Tucker Carlson bragging about cost of food and stuff because it's just an amusing like distraction, but the reality is Russia's an absolute shithole. And your political system is not a political system. It's a totalitarian regime run by a guy who can barely stand up. His head is shrinking into his shoulders. You got Biden who can barely keep his eyes open, and you got a guy against him who thinks he's all tough, but actually is proving how weak he is.
There's a lot of folks right now who are looking at Russia, and they're doing that thing that existed in the McCarthy era, where everyone, and when I say McCarthy era, I mean McCarthyism.
Yeah, I know what you meant, thankfully.
Where everyone was basically like, oh, this is terrible. The Russians everywhere. It wasn't good back then. It's not good now.
Just a question to my chat. Press 1 in the chat if you think Navalny's passing is sus. And I'm saying it that way on purpose. We cannot put an assumption out there. I believe it's sus. It's just too convenient to be sus to get rid of him. We don't know the exact reason yet, but there are mentions here of him being poisoned in the past, like with Novichok. Like, come on, that nearly killed him as well. Nah, sus.
No, absolutely, it is suspicious. No, I'm pretty sure they used every trick in the book to kill him without killing him.
I mean, they could have gone with a dental infection. He'd been trying to get one for see a dentist for 18 months.
True.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I think that basically they killed him without killing him.
Well, that's how they can get around it, can't they?
Right. Because Biden did threaten him at one point, saying if Navalny were to die in prison, there would be dire consequences for Russia, is what they had said.
Ha! Things Biden will never do. Pull the trigger.
True.
Okay.
Shock.
Well, there are many other things I'd love to talk to you about, London Underground being one, or Israel and Vatican at UN. We'll have to save that for another time, because I think you have to go and get your wife, and I need to sleep.
Okay.
This will be on Spotify and Rumble tomorrow while I work on other video stuff. Thank you everyone for being here. Is Trups here next week?
Yes.
Then we'll be back next week. We're on a run of late. Fantastic. Very good. Thank you for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash the like on the way out. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next week. Say good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups.